Loud. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Spades Community Show. I am your host, Bobby Love. I, of course, have got Stephen Fantha with me, or I'm really with him here at his house, and we're so happy you guys are joining us. We've got a really, I wouldn't say necessarily different, not off topic, but something that we haven't discussed yet, which is cryptocurrency and where it's heading and why it's so important to really know more about it. And if nothing else, even if you're not looking to invest, it is very important to educate yourself about this particular topic to understand where we as an entire world, you could say, are transitioning right now. And so, as I like to say, with no further ado, Stephen Fantha will take off with it. Blah, excuse me, can't talk right now, apparently.
Yeah, tonight we're going to do something different. We're not focusing so much on the SPADES token, although there is a very good reason why we designed the SPADES community the way that it is, with a focus upon the unbanked, the unpoor, the hundreds of millions of people who will be coming online, and why cryptocurrency will be so important. Now, this is really kind of a wake-up call to our first world users. Right now in the United States and Canada, Europe, there's a small percentage of people, I'd say very bright people, they're making a great amount of money by having invested in cryptocurrency. We could go through chart after chart after chart. I put up a blog the other day. Actually, let me share this with you. We're going to come back to this screen that has to do with remittances, but well, actually, Shiba Inu, that went up by over 25 million%. The other day, it went up another 3 million% in just a few hours. So I updated actually the name of the blog. It's down a little bit today, so now it's only up 26 million% in really 6 months. There's a blog here, Understanding the New Mechanics of Wealth. And I think everybody should really understand this now. If you've been to the gas station, look at how much it costs you for gas. It's almost double what I was paying last year. If I want to buy bread, it's costing me more money. So if I saved a couple dollars last year, then today I still have that $2 because I chose to save it, and I'm only going to get a half a loaf of bread instead of a full loaf of bread. Let's just look at a few coins, okay? You'll see they have dips, and this chart at 4,490% includes this huge dip. This would have been more like 7,000%. So if you'd gotten Solana last year, it was just under $3, where I could buy a full gallon of gas. Today, if I had saved that $3, I would get over 48 gallons of gas, versus now I can't even get 1 gallon of gas for that same $3. So this has to do with preserving your wealth. It has to do with cryptocurrency, and this is going to lead into where we're going, which is really critical. We'll look at Cardano, 2,066% over a year. If you would just put $100 here instead of leaving it inside of your bank account, what do you get in your bank account? 0.01% if you're at a good bank. Here you got 2,066%. The big coins are so big that it's harder to make larger jumps in them. And of course, it's difficult to know what smaller coin to invest in because they may actually go down or they may go out of existence. But you're definitely going to make money with the larger coins. So let's take Ethereum and Bitcoin, the two largest coins there are in the market. If you had taken your funds and not left them in the bank where they got debased, they got devalued due to inflation, significant inflation over the last year, which you should know from what can you buy with $1 today versus what could you buy with $1 a year ago. Well, Ethereum was up 755%. It's up even higher right now. In fact, I'm going to jump over to a screen. I'm not sharing it with you. Bobby's here. He can tell you I'm taking a look at Coinbase right now, and I'm looking at Ethereum, and I'm going to see what is its value for a year, 821.39%. So I wrote this just a few days ago, and Ethereum was up 754% for the year. Now, less than a week later, it's up over 821%. So just in this week, look what it's gone up. Okay, 70%. Even Bitcoin, the biggest, which you would think would be so hard to move because it's so huge, it went up 300% for a year, and it's much higher. At this price, it was at 43,000. As we're having this show right now, Bitcoin, after a week or so, has gone from 43,000 to 56,000 per a Bitcoin. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I'm going to tell you right now, for 1 year, it's now from 300% a week ago to 388%. Even the big things can continue to move. So I'm just telling you all, cryptocurrency is absolutely, without a doubt, the way to preserve your wealth and the currencies of the future. Even though there's quite a few of them, it doesn't really matter. So who's going to adopt this? Almost always, the adopters of wealth have been the rich countries. They've led the way. But something new is happening here. It's the poor and the underdeveloped who will be the ones who adopt cryptocurrency en masse because of one thing. It's called remittances, right? Are all of you familiar with what remittances are? Bobby, you know what a remittance is?
I mean, I'm fairly knowledgeable and understand what a remittance is. Yeah.
All right. He didn't explain it. So listen.
I mean, I understand it enough to, it's basically the way that you're exchanging across, for the standard fiat currency, you're exchanging it across countries. Okay, then obviously I'm not the best one to explain.
So that's good. So okay, remittances are individuals who come from poorer countries and they work in richer countries, right? So who's been on a cruise? I got a few people who are here. Lorian's raising her hand. All right, never mind, Scott. I know we've discussed this. So he's got a thumbs up. Okay, so almost all the people who work on cruise ships, they're from countries that earn less money. They can be from Africa, the Philippines, Vietnam, Eastern Europe, Estonia, places like that. And when they earn money, they send it back to their country. They send it back to their family and friends to help them live, because their standard of living and what it costs for things is so unbelievably different than what people receive in the first world. Okay. Here, I'll stop the share here for a moment. So look, remittances are this. You've got people who've come to the United States, for example, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from basically all over the world, and they come here so that they can earn more. Because in their country, like we've used Kinshasa, I'm very familiar with it, teacher earns $4 a day. Here, a teacher earns more like $150 a day. And they take a part of their earnings and they send it back to their family. They send it back to the Philippines, to Estonia, to Guatemala, to Costa Rica, to you name it. It's humongous movement of money. It's one of the biggest movements of money, but it's very, very expensive. So I'm going to show you all a few things here, because the whole entire remittance marketplace looks like it's going to move to cryptocurrency because it is so much less expensive to send value, right? Whether you're sending a US dollar or a peso or a yen or whatever it is, it's just a mechanism for an exchange of value. And that's what cryptocurrencies are. At the end of the day, it's a storehouse of value that can be traded. So it's no different than any other kind of currency, which is why they call it a cryptocurrency. So Capgemini did a study the other day. Well, they didn't just do it, but actually a lot of people have gone into this, and they're saying that nearly half the world will be using cryptocurrencies to send what? To send remittances, to send money back to people who need it, to send money to people in need. And you'll see they're saying 45% of users will be using cryptocurrencies to make payments by 2023. I mean, we're just talking 15 months from now, right? So who runs the remittance market right now? Actually, it's Western Union, MoneyGram, World Remit. many of you may have used Western Union. Maybe you send wires. It's expensive. I've got another slide for that. What did El Salvador do? They actually adopted Bitcoin to solve its remittance woes. For those of you that are familiar, El Salvador said, okay, Bitcoin is not only a legal currency, but it's basically the kinds of currencies, the currency that we want to utilize for the country. We'd rather peg it to that than our own currency because ours keeps sliding. Here's another article. Crypto remittances are a lifeline for the world's most vulnerable. It's already happening. Okay, so we're talking about the poor, we're talking about the unbanked. Because an unbanked person, while they can't get a bank account, they can, in certain cases, get a wallet. They can, in certain cases, like at the Spades community, get an account where they can hold value and they can actually send value to other people. So this particular article is actually all about Afghanistan and what's going on there. But the key thing here is it is a lifeline for the world's most vulnerable. Migrant workers. Now, this one I found really interesting. I think this is the important part here, right? So people using cryptocurrency for remittances is something of a new thing because crypto is a new thing. It hasn't even really been adopted by very many people in the United States. Now, if you're into it, pretty much everybody you know is into it because you told them about it and you got them into it because you care about them. And frankly, if you care about people, they need to understand crypto. So Mexican crypto exchange Bitso processes 2.5% of remittances going into Mexico. Just 2.5%. That's over $1 billion a year just in Mexico at 2.5% of the remittances. Right? This is huge. This is huge. And what's really interesting here is I almost think of the biblical saying, the meek shall inherit the earth, because if the poor, hundreds of millions of them who are receiving money from friends or family members in first world countries to send them money through remittances, are all getting crypto wallets in order to receive them, and the people who are sending them the money are getting crypto wallets, it means for the first time in history, the people who are rich at the edge of an age change, at the edge of a humongous shift in economic systems, they're going to be behind the poor, because more of them will actually be utilizing cryptocurrency and wallets and moving into the new economy, right? Cross-border crypto remittances. Here's a whole overview. I'm just going to jump down to some things that are real simple. I believe it's right up here. Transfer channels. Where is it? Why? Yeah. So there's two things that are very expensive when you're currently providing money to somebody from another country. One is the currency exchange rate. So you lose money just by sending from, let's say, the United States to the Philippines, you're sending dollars to pesos, right? So you lose a percentage right there. And then there are high bank fees averaging 6.5% for cross-border payments. That was at the end of 2020. So this isn't some old statistic. 6.5% plus other fees. You know, if I send somebody TRX right now, it's only going to cost me about 15 cents. That's not the one. Where's the company? I want to show that to you. There are companies that are already working on this, like SureRemit. So their total cost is going to be between 0 and 2%. 0 and 2% versus potentially 6.5 and 8 or 9%. Right? The translation from the crypto to paying out the person that you're sending the funds to can be done very, very inexpensively. So this may very well put Western Union out of business, right? Or MoneyGram, because they're just too expensive. They only deal really with fiat currency and all the expenses that come with it. And at the end of the day, if you're remitting something to somebody, yes, they probably need most of it to pay for their daily needs. but they may be trying to save some of it. And if they want to save it in their local currency, they're probably going to be hit by rapid inflation as well. Because while the dollar and all of the fiat currencies are losing their buying capacity, what you get in crypto by holding it is going up, right? As long as you don't pay attention to the daily ups and downs and dips, as you saw earlier when I showed you this, over time, you wind up with larger results. Even though there are some significant dips and valleys over time, even here where it was much higher than this, and now it's back there. Now it's back, right? And this is just since, well, the end of September 2021. I'm not sure. Let's see what date this was. When did I write this? September 27th. So yeah, it has been basically 2 weeks since I put this up. And now Bitcoin is at 56,339. Actually, I'm just going to move this over here. Can you guys see this screen, or is it still showing the other screen? You see it. Here's Bitcoin, 56,339. I'm not pulling your leg here, right? Okay. But what was it? Just 43,216. Ethereum, 3,055, right? Right here. Now, where's Ethereum at? 3,509. Right? How many people in 2 weeks would have liked to have invested $3,055 and made $460? $460.
So I guess the question would be, Stephen, how does this relate to us in the Spades community?
All right, it does in a few ways. Number one, the majority of users are going to be those that are in the developing world. And that's really, at the end of the day, going to be part of our marketplace, because they don't just want to receive money from friends and family members. Once they get into crypto, which this leads them into, we then give them the next logical step, which is, how would you like to make your own money? How'd you like to be able to do it yourself and, not have to be asking all the time for other people to just send it to you? Look, some people will do that, but there's a lot of people who actually want to earn their own money. There's another part of this which goes to understanding Spades and what we're doing. So we can pick pretty much any currency here, and you look at how they work, because we're only a few weeks old. Look, they with some exceptions, they flatline for a year or two, and then they shoot up, right? It doesn't really matter which ones you choose. I mean, here, you just pick one out here. Here, let me look at, Algorand's a good one. I like Algorand, by the way. See, things just kind of do their little thing, and then they hit. People take some profit, and then they go up. We're going to see the same thing here. Look, it's going to take us a year to a year and a half. We're going to be basically kind of like a flat line, just like all these other cryptocurrencies do. And then when it gets adopted through persistence, it's going to shoot up into the air, thousands of %. And then it will drop down quite a bit, because all the people who initially bought Spades tokens will say, hey, this is a great time. I made 4,000%. I want to take out my money. And that's fine. And then all the users that have been adopted along will continue along, and it'll do what it's supposed to do. So my whole point here is that those of you who are watching this, you need to let your friends, family members know that they need to at least start getting their feet wet into cryptocurrency in one way or another. They need to understand it. The third world is already about to bypass them. It's going to happen because of remittances alone. So with that, we'll keep it a quick call. Anything, Laurie and Scott, Jack, anyone got anything to, I do have one more thing, but yeah.
Jack, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm good. I just paused it. I muted it. You got the floor. You got the floor, Orion.
All I want to say is that with the charities I work with internationally, this is a blessing. And not only the remittances from the families to the personal families in other countries, but the charities, we are now giving an opportunity for them to enter into a new economic market, which hasn't been available to them before. And I'm thrilled. I have been working in this arena as with nonprofit organizations for over 30 years. And one of my wishes has always been to be able to benefit them in ways that I'm not a philanthropist, but I now feel that that I can do that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I see this as an incredible opportunity for them in other countries, but also for us in our country, in the first world, because we really do have to wake up about what's going on here. And this is an opportunity. I think I speak for a couple of people on this call. I did invest early on in Bitcoin, and then I watched it and it went down and I cashed out, and I wish I hadn't now.
Well, there's a lot of us who feel that way, but yeah.
Right. So the fact is that you have to be patient. It will go in, but this has got a more humanitarian, how can I say it? Save the world kind of. I know I sound like Pollyanna. Backing a community-driven, currency is what we say we are, and it's a community behind here to make a difference on the planet, and that's why I'm here. So I'm grateful. Thanks, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, people may not know this, but this is in the blog. How much? I'm gonna go jump back there real quick. And by the way, here's our Stake Your Spades. We're just making some final tests and adjustments, and you will be able to come here and stake your spades in your current wallet if it's either a Clever wallet or a TronLink wallet. I don't even think it was this one. No, this is not even the right blog. I've written a lot of blogs lately. So y'all find this interesting, I think. Anyway, I find this interesting. How much was Bitcoin worth originally?
Well, I mean, I know that the original Bitcoin transaction was, oh my gosh, I don't even know that. I think it was like 10,000 Bitcoin for like 2 pizzas and a liter of Coke, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that.
So we actually went back on the chain, and the very first transaction was back in 2009. Okay. And it was one of the guys who developed Bitcoin. It was in October 12th of 2009. Marty Malmy, who was a Finnish developer that helped Santosh work on the Bitcoin. He sold 5,050 Bitcoin for $5.02. That means the Bitcoin value was 0.0009. So what would you get for 1 penny? 11 Bitcoin. 11 Bitcoin for a penny. So that penny today is worth over $600,000. A penny, $600,000.
You're making me cry.
A lot of people will cry, but here's the thing: we're just at the beginning of the cryptocurrency revolution and what's taking place. And the whole deal with the remittances actually lends itself to that. Very, very few % of people have begun to utilize cryptocurrency on the planet. Okay, so there are opportunities. That same blog talks about Shabina Ibu. It's up 28 million % in basically 6 months. 28 million %. All right. That's because they came out with a quadrillion coins. But there's going to be so many opportunities because we're really, really still at the very, very, very beginning of where we're going with cryptocurrencies. God knows how many number of tokens are going to wind up being out there, and the fact that they can grow in value. You just have to take a slightly long-term approach. If you want to really make money in crypto, you need to look at a couple things. Number one, you want something that's new but has good founders with persistency behind them and a purpose behind the token. Then you have to understand these tokens will take a year and a half to get adopted. They have to incubate. And once they hit a certain level, then they just skyrocket. So you may have to wait, you know, a year or a year and a half, but if you can make 2,000%, 3,000%, some of these coins are 12,000, 14,000. The number of percent is actually, let me just come back here really, really quick because I put this on this blog. All right. Is this the right page? You guys seeing this? Terra, Dogecoin, Solano. Yep. So Terra Luna, that's up 12,704%. Dogecoin, which was supposed to be a joke, is up 8,594% for 1 year. Solano, which we looked at, 6,110%. Shiba Inu, when I wrote this, 25 million plus percent. Cardano had gone down from the 2000 by just a little bit, 1,981%. Look at even Binance. Okay, so here's my point. And these coins, Solano, Doge, Terra, they're relatively new coins. They got through their incubation stage and now boom, here's what happens over your second year. So if you're willing, you know, you can leave the money in a CD, a treasury, you can buy property, you can do all sorts of things. But if you make the right choice with the cryptocurrency, you're willing to sit on it for, you know, a couple years, there's no reason that you shouldn't make thousands of percent, whether it's 2,000 or like Terra Luna here, 12,000 or Dodge 8,000 or, I mean, I don't really expect to see 25 million percent again. This is kind of outrageous, but they did do 1 quadrillion coins.
So I think that the point primarily is that, you know, with the way that we have set up the SPADES token and more so the SPADES community, by creating a community first, we're building that around our token. And when you look at what builds any cryptocurrency, it's community and utility. And we have more utility built into our token than I think just about any token that's out there. And so, you know, right now in the stage that we're at, we're doing a very slow build and it's going to be progressive. And I think primarily the point that Steven's making is that it is going to take a year or so to watch this continue to grow. And as we build out and more things that we have in the works become relevant, which we will share with you guys as they do, you can really expect to see the SPADES token grow in value. And when we start to get around that year or so mark, it's going to be exponential. I mean, I will say that with some of the things we have going on, it could even be sooner than that, but we're not going to make any promises or predictions. But what we do know is that we have something special. We have something that's unique and different, and we have something that's doing things in a way that will cause this token to rise in value.
Thank you, Bobby. Actually, that allows me to just kind of sum up by explaining something that'll hopefully make it easier. Most crypto coins, they get released and they say, here's a technology that we're going to build. We're going to do this. We're going to put this layer on. We're going to do this. And people invest in what they're going to do. We have taken the other approach. We have built a community first. And now we are going to make it available through the outreach of people like Lorian and others to make it available to the people who need it most. And anyone along the way who believes that they could utilize it as well are welcome to do so. There's a lot of reasons to use our community. The biggest one most recently, interestingly, has been all this tremendous backlash against Facebook. You know, I mean, I guess everybody's familiar with what's going on over there.
Yep.
Well, our community does not mine your data. Our community does not stick horrendous ads in your face. There's just a couple of pages and they've got some personal ads that are internal to the site. No Google AdSense, none of that kind of craziness. Our social network lets you share your skills. It lets you share your services. It lets you do things that Facebook says is against their commercial policy. Facebook, I put a link to my wife's book that's being sold on Spades Community, and they blocked it because it's against their commercial policy for me to even point somebody over and say, hey, come take a look at my wife's wonderful book. No, on our site, you can promote your book. You can promote yourself as an author. You can sell the book directly on the site. You can sell events. You can sell classes. In fact, the next big development that we're working on right now is we will be integrating a Zoom meeting system so that you can offer the classes and events, and the groups can have meetings live directly through the site and through the group sections, so that it's even more interactive for you. I don't know how long that's going to take because I'm not the developer, but probably not long. So yes, it's all about meeting the needs of people, doing it in a way that's fair, and sharing the wealth. And I'll probably get lost. So I'm just going to say that's pretty much what I've got to say there. Is
I think in general, the statement I would make, which is the one I've made before, but I'm going to say again, is that if you want to change the way that wealth is distributed, you have to change the way that you distribute the wealth. And in the particular age change that we're making into the information age from the industrial age, cryptocurrency is the economic model. And so whether you like it or not, it's going to be the way that the world is transitioning and changing into. And you can either participate, or unfortunately, you can get left behind.
That's it. One little plug, I'll put this up maybe Thursday night. Kira and I'll be helping. We've got the Cryptocurrency for Beginners live show, not our recorded show that we've already been working on, but actually a live show with a variety of people who have signed up and are going to be there and have put in questions. Yes, Lorian's going to be there. And they have, we've organized the questions so that they go down a very nice way that makes sense to follow one question to the other. So I will put up a link, and for those of you who would like to actually attend live the first Cryptocurrency for Beginners interactive class that's being put on by Spades Community, you're welcome to join us, and we'll put that link up there. Otherwise, we will post it here in the Facebook and also on our own website, of course, for you to see afterwards, and in the Cryptos for Beginners group. That's all I've got to say, unless anyone has anything to add or any questions out there. Doesn't look like it, then I guess we'll sign off for the evening.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys once again for joining us, and we will see everybody on, well, I don't know if it'll be next week, but definitely within the next week or two for our next show. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Bless you.